The AAC Report is brought to you by Blahut of Realty One Group. Whether you're looking to buy your very first home or looking to downsize or upgrade, call Blahut anytime at 407-748-0484. Welcome to the AAC Report, only on the Knightline Sports Network. I'm Jeff Allen. Thanks for hitting that play button. Coming up, we will unpack Week 5 and get you set for Week 6, and also check in on our spotlight game this week, Temple-ECU. But first, we will start to roll through Monday's Coaches Teleconference, where they talk about the last game and look forward to the next game. SMU rolls to 5-0 and a number 24 ranking in the AP poll by hammering South Florida before a sparse crowd, and that might be an overstatement, at Raymond James Stadium. 48-21 the final. Head coach Sonny Dykes.
You know, it's good to get a win, especially on the road. It's really difficult to win on the road in our conference. There's just a lot of tough environments. And you know, coming off of kind of an emotional game the week before, I was a little concerned about how our guys would handle it, but I was really proud of the week of practice they had, and I thought they were focused, and we got off to a fast start, and it was exactly what we needed. You know, and just kind of got a little sloppy at times in the second half, but we have a lot of young players that played in the game, and you know, when those guys get opportunities, they have to play better than they did. But it's good to get them in, and good to have a chance to develop a lot of players, and it was a good reward for them to get a chance to play in the game. And Tulsa's a big challenge this week. I mean, they were a team last year. You know, we went to play them for bowl eligibility last year, and they just, you know, beat up on us and physically just kind of dominated the game really on both lines of scrimmage, and you know, knocked us around. And you know, they did a really good job of getting their team ready to play last year. You know, we were playing for bowl eligibility, and their guys played harder than we did, and their coaching staff did a better job getting their guys ready than we did. And so, you know, it's a big challenge for us this year to kind of get our guys back up and you know, and try to, you know, play well against a team that really presents a lot of problems. I mean, you look at Tulsa, they're a very, very big team, probably the biggest team we've played all year. They just recruit a lot of really big people. They're long. You know, they present some problems with some of the schemes that they run. And so, you know, we're going to need to have a good week of practice and get ready to play.
Meanwhile, USF coach Charlie Strong obviously disappointed.
Well, didn't play well against SMU, and you know, had our opportunities, just didn't capitalize on them. But you know, just moving on, we got to get ready for UConn. Got to go on the road. It's a road game, and anytime you play on the road, you got to play at your best. And it's so we just got to get back focused and get back on track, and go out and just play a really good game against UConn.
USF at UConn will be a noon kickoff on CBS Sports Network. That was originally at a 7 o'clock kickoff, but evidently they have a mosquito-borne virus that they have concerns about in the evening hours. I think the Bulls have already been infected by the virus. USF actually leads the all-time series with UConn 11-6, and they won the last meeting last year by a 38-30 score. Tulsa will come off a bye week to take on those red-hot Mustangs. Coach Philip Montgomery.
Yeah, I thought our open week went extremely well. Got an opportunity to continue to work and work on some things that we definitely needed to spend some time on. I thought our guys did a good job of handling that. Got some good on good in that as well. And so continuing to try to grow as a football team and collectively as we move through. You know, got an opportunity to really get caught up, try to get a little healthy, get back right in the classroom, make sure that we're taking care of business there, and then also preparing for an extremely tough SMU team who is playing extremely well right now. And, you know, what an impressive win they had last weekend in a dominating type performance. So, no, we've got our hands full and looking forward to the opportunity of going down there and playing.
Tulsa at SMU at Gerald Ford Stadium, Saturday, 7:30 on ESPNU. Tulsa leads the all-time series 14-11, scoring a 27-24 victory last season. Houston got back on the winning track with a 46-25 win over North Texas. Head coach Dana Holgerson.
Well, it's good to go get a road win. We haven't been lucky enough to be able to play a whole lot of home games. So, after a very tough opening stretch, Watson made it the 4 games in 18 days, and still haven't played a home conference game, and wasn't able to do that last week. Had to go on the road again for our 5th game, and then, unfortunately got a bye week. I'd rather be playing a conference game at home, which I don't know if there's anybody in the country that hasn't had a home conference game until October 12th. So unfortunately, that's what we got to deal with.
Yeah, he doesn't sound happy about waiting that long for a conference home game or a schedule in general. Cougs, after the bye week, will play Cincinnati next week. Memphis rallied from a first-half deficit to take down Navy 35-23 last Thursday. Tigers head coach Mike Norvell.
Yeah, excited about opening up conference play. Want to know, especially against a Navy team that I think is a really good football team. And they did a good job. They came out, got off to a fast start. Our guys had to show a response. Didn't play to the best of our ability, I don't believe, early. Had a turnover in the red zone. Had some missed opportunities throughout the first half. But the thing we've challenged our guys with throughout this season is to show a response and to make sure that we finish games, that we control the things that we can control. And I thought overall as a football team, it's something that we've improved on. We've shown that multiple times throughout the first third of the season, and it showed up again last Thursday. But I was really proud of our team. Obviously the kickoff return was a huge play in the game. We went down 20-7. Needed a momentum boost, and our special teams unit and Gabe and our kickoff return group did a great job of doing that. We got a lot of confidence in our guys and what we're asking them to do there, in all the special teams units, and they're showing up big throughout the early part of the season. That's something that's definitely got to continue.
Navy coach Ken Niumatalolo thought the Middies had a good shot in this game against the Tigers.
Well, obviously after the game we were super disappointed. We thought we had a great opportunity to win the game. I thought we had the game in total control in the first half. We had the ball 23 minutes. It scored 20 points. I mean, we're on track for a 40-point game, 500-yard game, and, we didn't close out on some stuff. But you have to give Memphis credit. Obviously, the kickoff return was a big changing point in the game. So thought we did a lot of good things on defense, gave up a couple of big plays that hurt us. But we got to learn from that and move on. And got the opening of the Commander-in-Chief Trophy game this week going against Air Force. Watching Air Force, there's, really good Air Force teams. They're always good, but this is one of their better teams. They have a great shot to be undefeated right now. Beat Colorado, had a great shot to beat Boise. They're ahead of Boise, in the second half, and, Boise kind of ran away a little bit late, but the game was a lot closer than score indicated. So, we know we got a great task ahead of us. But it's always an exciting week. Our kids are always up to this, and, we didn't have any time to sulk or feel sorry for ourselves after a tough loss on the road to a really good team that we thought we had a great chance to beat, and it felt like that still coming out of the game that we had a great shot to beat those guys, but there's no time to wallow in that stuff. We got to get ready for one of our rivalry games.
Air Force at Navy, 3:30 Saturday on CBS Sports Network. Air Force leads the all-time series 30-21 with a 35-7 victory in last season's game. Memphis, meanwhile, number 23 now in the coaches poll. They're going to be at Louisiana Monroe, 3:45 Saturday on ESPNU. Lead the all-time series 2-1. They won 2 seasons ago by a 37-29 score. Tulane is coming off a bye and will take on Army this week. Head coach Willie Fritz.
Well, we were able to take a little bit of time off. We took off Friday, Saturday, Sunday after the Thursday night game against Houston, and then went this whole last week, and then we took off Saturday and Sunday. just got done with the practice here a little while ago where we have morning practices here due to class schedule, which we think works out good. And I think the guys have moved on, and we're better because we got a great opponent in Army. They run a unique offense, to say the least. And it's something I'm glad we got a couple weeks to prepare for because it is so different.
Tulane at Army, noon Saturday on CBS Sports Network. The Green Wave lead the all-time series 11-9 with one tie, and they won the last meeting back in 2017 by a 21-17 score. Cincinnati romped over Marshall 52-14. Head coach Luke Fickell.
Well, it was a great week for us. It was probably the first for us all year, the complete game, and I just mean that offense, defense, and even as important as special teams wise. We had an off week, we had a bye week. We thought we did a good job. I think we got a little momentum and created some things, took some time, but also got some work done. But you just never know coming out of a bye week, and we went out there and really executed well early. And I don't know that we have done that and created and generated momentum, both offensively, defensively, and in the special teams. And I think that's where, it kind of snowballed. Our energy built, our momentum built, jumped on them kind of early and made it, took it away from them pretty soon and pretty quick. Obviously, Des had great command. His ability to see what he needed to see and make the decisions and go the right place, whether that's throwing the football, whether that's handing it off, whether that's pulling it. I just think that, I think his confidence is really growing. I think his ability to see and understand what he's getting and make those decisions on the field that happen really fast, especially at that position, were really good. And I hope that he continues to grow. And he's feeling better and he's feeling healthier, and I think it all showed.
Now the Bearcats set their sights on our 18th-ranked UCF Knights. They responded to their tough loss at Pitt by crushing UConn 56-21. Let's hear first from Huskies head coach Randy Edsall.
Well, we kind of dug a hole for ourselves early on, turned the ball over, and we gave up a couple big plays, but I thought our kids fought for 60 minutes and came back and did some really good things in the second half. Missed out on a couple scoring opportunities there towards the end of the first half, missed 2 field goals, but UCF is a very good team and one that's well-deserving of their ranking. So now we look forward to USF on Saturday, and hopefully what we can do is, build on the things that we did well and eliminate the mistakes that we made and eliminate the turnovers that will then give us a better opportunity to be able to, get a win.
Yes, Coach, use that momentum against the Cows on Saturday. Knights head coach Josh Heupel, meanwhile, was very delighted with his team's effort.
Yeah, really excited about the way the guys came out and played and had a great atmosphere inside of our stadium and played with great energy early in the football game. Defensively did a great job creating turnovers, offense, capitalized on those. Were able to get scoring early and thought we played really solid on special teams all night long. Looking forward to the contest this week. Great football team. Going to be a great environment up there and one that our kids are excited about getting prepared for and try to go play great football up there.
No doubt indeed. And now for my Nicholsworth on UCF, because 2 cents is not enough. First, the reaction of the team coming off a loss was exactly what we needed to see. A push the gas pedal, take control, win the game right away over a pretty inferior football team. And that is exactly what they did. Also got the chance to get more guys some reps who are not starters, including DJ Mack, getting the second half start at quarterback and a chance to knock the rust off, and by all accounts, looked pretty good in doing so. And interestingly enough, this week comes word that Brandon Wimbush has been working out at wide receiver. Could pose some interesting thoughts. Now, what they need to do before they run a gadget play with him is throw him the ball a couple of times. So, because right now when he comes to the game, everybody thinks he's going to run when he's lining up a quarterback. If he comes in a receiver, they're going to be keeping an eye out on some sort of gadget with him throwing the ball. So if he's looking good at receiver, let's see what happens there. So interesting development on that front, but it is, to me, very comforting to have Darryl Mack back as the backup, because that gives you a very good experienced guy if something should go wrong with Dylan Gabriel, but he is still looking very good, and he continues to learn, and it's a great effort on his part in his freshman season. So there you have it, UCF Cincinnati, Friday night, 8 o'clock on ESPN. The Knights lead the all-time series 3-1, and of course, you remember the last meeting down here at the Bounce House, 38-13, as we wowed the nation on College game day, and then with our raucous crowd at Spectrum Stadium, delivering a strong victory that night. Coming up, we check out the biggest game in the conference that isn't a UCF game. We will look at ECU and Temple when the AAC Report continues in just a moment. Are you tired of the endless money pit of paying rent? Do you have a home you need to sell for top dollar? Talk to the Hometown Advantage award-winning real estate professional and fellow UCF Knight, Blake Blahut of Realty One Group. Blake has proven to produce results and a smooth process for his clients all across Central Florida. Whether you're looking to buy your very first home or looking to downsize or upgrade, talk to Blake Blahut. Visit him at his website, Blake'sOrlandoHomes.com, or contact him anytime at 407-748-0484. Again, Blake'sOrlandoHomes.com and 407-748-0484. Get the hometown advantage by working with Blake. East Carolina moves to 3-2 on the season. They scored a 24-21 win on the road at Old Dominion. Pirates head coach Mike Houston.
Well, certainly it was great to get a win on the road this past weekend up in Norfolk, Virginia, against a very good Old Dominion football team. So it was, pretty tight battle back and forth. We had some opportunities to, maybe break it open a little bit, and but they did a good job of staying right there with us. But really pleased with how our kids competed. We got great production from all three phases. And in the second half, and particularly in the fourth quarter, I thought we showed just a lot of toughness and resiliency and some things that, maybe we have not shown as much here in this early season. And we did what it took to win the ball game there at the end. So really pleased to get the win, pleased to be above 500, back-to-back wins. Certainly got some momentum going into this Thursday night game. Really excited to be at home, excited for our program to have the opportunity to play on national TV, excited for East Carolina University to have the opportunity to have that focus, facing an extremely talented Temple football team. And, it's been a solid program for many, many years, one of the more consistent winning programs in the American Conference. Coach Carney's done a great job there in his first year with a veteran roster, and you look at them in all three phases, and you see big, physical, older, very athletic football players, and they have a solid scheme, play very, very hard. It'll be a tremendous challenge for us this Thursday night, but we're excited for it.
Temple, meanwhile, took down their last head coach, Jeff Collins, with a convincing 24-2 win at Georgia Tech. The new Owls boss, Rod Carey, also thought it was an odd score, but also glad for another win.
No, yeah, you're right. 24-2 odd thing, giving up the safety there. Really, defense pitched a shutout. And what else do you need to say when your defense goes out and pitches a shutout against an ACC team? So it was well executed by them. And I thought the offense did an outstanding job, too, of executing the game plan that we asked them to execute, and won the turnover battle and won the rushing battle. And usually when you do that, good things happen. So, like you said, it's a short week. So trying to get these guys, there's a delicate balance here between prepping them and getting a game plan in and getting their bodies back right on a 5-day turnaround. It's extremely difficult with the pounding that these guys take. And Benny, to hit on your last point there, I think Benny had a great game. Obviously, he was our player of the week defensively, and a little bit of the right place, right time with the fumble, but he ran it back, and then an excellent play on the pick, and just was real active the rest of the game too, and was in the right place and executed at a high level.
Temple-ECU is our spotlight game on the AAC Report this week, and joining us now from the great state of North Carolina, our friends Bubba Rosenbaum and Kyle Barber, two of the three amigos from the Sports Objective podcast. Bubba and Kyle, thanks for being here.
Absolutely. Appreciate you having us back on.
No problem. Glad that you guys are here. So first question out of the gate, 3-2 start so far for East Carolina. And is that pretty much where you expected to be 5 games into the season?
Yeah, I would say so. When you looked at the schedule on paper, you saw us opening with NC State, and you knew that was going to be a tough one on the road. We played better in that one than the score indicates. So you come home and play Gardner-Webb. Well, you to be sure you're going to beat Gardner-Webb, and we did. Then on the road at Navy, that got out of hand. We struggled with those guys, even in good years. Then you come back home, and William & Mary's a pretty decent FCS program that you expect to win that one. Then preseason, I think everybody kind of expected us to go up to ODU and win. Old Dominion had played well against Virginia Tech and against Virginia, and our offense has struggled. So, we actually ended up as a 3-point underdog going to Norfolk, but found a way to win. The defense has been a surprise. They played really well early on, with the exception of that Navy game. So, yeah, I think 3-2 is where we all hope to be. Being realistic, looking at September, and that's where we are. So far, so good.
Yeah, I agree with what Kyle said. 3-2 is honestly where I thought the Pirates would be at this point, and not necessarily how I thought we'd get here, as we've relied more on defense and special teams to do it. But hopefully the offense will continue to come along and give the Pirates a chance over these last 7 games.
So talk about that defense. What since it is surprising you guys, what is making it work for them?
It's largely been the defensive front, and you have the likes of senior Alex Turner. You also have Kendall Futrell on the end. Futrell, he had 3 sacks against Old Dominion and 7 tackles. So he's a tremendous talent right there in the Greenville area, or from the Greenville area, excuse me. And then you have pretty young on the back end. And granted, we haven't faced any really tremendously good passing attacks, and Temple's probably the best passing attack we will have faced to this point in the season. But those young DBs like Jaquan McMillan have performed very, very well thus far, and we've done a good job of tackling compared in the past years for sure.
Yeah, you got to credit the coaching staff for that. These guys are in position to make plays. They don't make the play every time, but they're there. And they do wrap up when they tackle, and they know what they're doing. We seem very organized on defense. To me, when we get beat on defense, it's a talent issue, and you take care of that through recruiting. We're very well coached on defense and play extremely hard on that side of the ball.
And as far as the offense goes, you had mentioned you don't think it's quite where it needs to be quite yet. So what are the keys there for getting that on track?
I think one thing we are not going to be able to do much about is the offensive line. I think that's going to have to be addressed through recruiting. Holt Naylor's starting quarterback. He's struggled a little early. He'll continue to improve. I think as the season goes on and Holton gets more comfortable being the guy, and gets more comfortable, I think he's been coached up a lot by Coach Houston and Coach Donnie Kirkpatrick, our offensive coordinator, to try to be more of a passing quarterback and less of a running quarterback. And I think as he gets more comfortable in that role as the season goes on, his numbers will improve. This past week, he only completed 8 passes, but he had his most success going downfield, hit on a couple of long balls, which is something we weren't doing very much earlier in the year, relying on the short passing game. So I think that's key. And also, our best running back is Darius Penix. has been out ever since the second game of the year against Gardner-Webb. And whenever we get Penix back, that will be a big help to the offense also.
Yeah, the running game is very much a work in progress. It certainly wasn't anything to brag about, but we did, against a good Old Dominion defense, run for a little over 100 yards, and it's a step in the right direction, if nothing else. And Demetrius Mooney, a true freshman, he's right around a couple 100 yards thus far. He's been a bright spot. And then the emergence of Trace Christian and Kay Williams, those are guys to keep an eye on going forward. As far as receivers, Blake Prohl, he leads the team with right around 20 catches. And he had a 72-yarder against Old Dominion, a big play in the first half in that game on a post route. Far and away the Pirates' biggest explosion play of the year on offense. And C.J. Johnson, a true freshman there, he's a guy that came in mid-year after graduating early from high school, and he's a local product. He has a lot of potential, but receivers have had an awful lot of trouble, it seems, creating separation. So that's another area another element that has caused the passing game to struggle.
And now Temple comes in at 3-1. They beat a Maryland team that now looks like a fraud at 2-0. They lost to Buffalo, but they did score a nice win over Georgia Tech last week, beating their old coach Jeff Collins in a rather resounding way. And one of the things I've come across talking to the folks that cover Temple is that Rod Carey has definitely instilled a certain amount of toughness with his football team. What are your guys' take on the Temple Owls?
Well, you talk about tough, and they've kind of been that way for a while. Temple tough is kind of their motto going back several years now through about 4 head coaches. So I think it's the same old. I think he came in and he was the right fit to kind of continue that mentality after Collins left, and Matt Rule kind of got that thing rolling. And I've watched Temple against Maryland. Their defensive front is as good as anybody in the American. That's what scares me about this game. I'm kind of worried about our offensive line against their defensive line. I think we're going to have a lot of trouble running the ball on them. I think we're going to probably have to rely on some screen plays and things like that to score. Hopefully, maybe score on special teams. I do think Temple's weaknesses are probably special teams, and their quarterback has a tendency to turn the ball over. So if you can get some turnovers and make some special team plays, Pirates will have a chance. But their defense is legit, man. Their front's really good.
Yeah, and Kyle's concern is certainly my biggest concern as well. Cole Naylor's quarterback for the Pirates was beat up quite a bit against Old Dominion. I'm trying to remember how many times he got sacked. He got knocked down quite a bit. He kept getting back up, but a couple times he was pretty slow to do so. So that's something to really keep an eye on Thursday night in this ball game. And defensively, I know that's what Temple, I think about those goal line stands they had to win that Maryland ball game. That front is tremendous. And then in the special teams, they have a tremendous return man in Isaiah Wright. So he's someone to keep an eye on, and hopefully Jake Verity will be able to boom kickoffs into the end zone to neutralize him.
Well, certainly Temple would be considered the favorite. How do you guys see it playing out? Where do you see East Carolina having a chance to steal this victory?
Yeah, as I said before, I think if we're going to win it, the turnovers. Their quarterback has thrown 6 picks so far this year. I think that would be our biggest chance. And Bubba mentioned their return man, but besides that, I don't know if their special teams is that good. So special teams and try to force some turnovers on defense. And also maybe Temple comes up flat. They beat Maryland, went on the road to Buffalo, and didn't play well in that game. They had a big win over Georgia Tech Saturday, short week, coming off an emotional win over their former head coach. So maybe they come out a bit flat, overlooking the Pirates. Short week, travel down the street from Philadelphia, and maybe we can steal one. We did our picks on our show yesterday, and I have Temple winning this game 27-13, but I hope I'm wrong.
I agree. It's going to have to be a low-scoring game, much like the Pirates win at Old Dominion, in order to pull it off. Temple's allowing right around 17 points per ball game. We've talked about the Pirates' offensive struggles, so I think it's going to be a game where the Pirates block the punt for a touchdown against the Monarchs. There's going to have to be some special team success again, even if it's not a touchdown, to set up some short fields, and defense is probably going to have to force at least a couple of turnovers. Anthony Russo, Temple's quarterback, has thrown 6 picks, including 3 in that loss at Buffalo. So if the Pirates can continue with Kendall Futrell on that defensive front to put some pressure on the quarterback, that could be huge on Thursday. And offensively, you'll have to be opportunistic and get points when the opportunities are there.
Well, of course, you get the Thursday night national audience, and the one question I wanted to ask you guys was about new head coach Mike Houston. I know he's generated a lot of excitement with his presence, and what are the intangibles he has brought to changing the culture at East Carolina?
Intensity. Yeah, he's an intense dude, man. He's fiery. The guys believe in him. He gets the team fired up and gets them playing hard. And, you know, that's what he wants and he demands is give 100% every down. He's an intense guy, and it's so legitimate. It's not when you hear him and see him talk, he comes across as so real and not like coach speak. And those are the biggest things. And just being fundamentally sound. That's what I say his 2 biggest intangibles are. Is just his intensity and his attention to details and being fundamentally sound.
I agree with Kyle, and that's what his attention to detail, his intensity. If you have not seen any of the hype videos put out, I would, if you're interested in seeing what Coach Houston's about, check those out on the ECU football channel on YouTube. Those are some tremendous videos. Like, even if you're not an East Carolina fan, if you're just a football person, it'd be hard to listen to Coach Houston pregame and not get a few goosebumps and be ready to play. So I think, like Kyle said, he's a proven winner. He has a tremendously proven staff that's been together for a long time, and they have a plan. And it hasn't necessarily been pretty thus far, but you can tell the program's heading in the right direction, and we're going to get to where he wants to get it to.
Sounds like you guys are ready to run through a wall for him, which is exactly what the doctor would definitely order. So, Bubba and Kyle, before I let you go, let the folks know about the Sports Objective podcast, coverage of East Carolina, and where to follow you guys.
Yeah, Sports Objective podcast. You can listen to it pretty much anywhere you find podcasts, from Apple Podcasts to TuneIn, Audio Boom, SoundCloud, etc. You can like us on Facebook. Just search the Sports Objective on Facebook and like the page. Follow us on Twitter at eSportsOBJ. And Bubba, I believe we have an Instagram also, right?
Yeah, on Instagram it's at the Sports Objective, and then on YouTube, I can't remember if you mentioned that, but on YouTube it's just simply search the Sports Objective as well, and our podcasts are on there, in addition to other game day videos and such.
And on Twitter?
Yes, I'm sorry. On Twitter, it's at the Sports OBJ on Twitter, and then our preview for this game was released today, so definitely check that out. And like Kyle said, that's available pretty much anywhere you listen to podcasts.
All right, that sounds great. Kyle Barber and Bubba Rosenbaum from the Sports Objective podcast. Guys, thanks so much for being on again.
Thanks so much for having us.
Temple at East Carolina, Thursday night, 8 o'clock on ESPN. Temple leads the all-time series 9-7, including a 49-6 romp last year. Checking out the honors, the offensive players of the week, both our quarterbacks, and one we're going to see in just mere days. Desmond Ridder from Cincinnati, 221 yards through the air, 4 touchdowns, completing 18 of 22. And their big win over Marshall also added 48 rushing yards. Shane Buechele of SMU, he threw for 226 yards, 3 touchdowns, added 27 rushing yards and a TD in that big dismantling of the South Florida Bulls. The Defensive Player of the Week, Benny Walls of Temple, the senior safety. He had 6 tackles, a 74-yard fumble return for a touchdown, and a 65-yard interception return, as their dominant defensive performance was keyed by him in that 24-2 victory over Georgia Tech. And the Special Teams Player of the Week, Gabriel Rogers of Memphis, his big 99-yard kickoff return for a touchdown sparked their come-from-behind victory after Navy had taken a 27 lead. His 99-yard kickoff return got them back within 1 score and seized the momentum for the Tigers. And Gabriel Davis, UCF's junior wide receiver, makes the honor roll. 5 receptions, 119 yards, 3 touchdowns in the blowout win over UConn. Gabriel Davis coming to an NFL roster near you someday soon. Let's scroll through some other sports in the American women's volleyball. 5 teams unbeaten after conference openers, as Cincinnati swept East Carolina and Wichita State to claim the lead in the East Division with UCF, who added sweeps of UConn and Temple during the first weekend. Tulane won a pair of 5-set decisions against SMU, and Memphis is part of a 3-way tie atop the West. Tulsa down Wichita State and East Carolina to join the Green Wave, and Houston had late comebacks against both SMU and Memphis to kick off conference play undefeated. As far as the volleyball honors go, Megan Duncan, senior from Houston, was the Offensive Player of the Week with 43 total kills in their 2-0 weekend. Defensive Player of the Week was Taylor Horsfall of Tulsa. The senior had 69 digs over 9 sets to earn weekly defensive honors for the second time this season. On the honors parade from women's soccer, the Offensive Player of the Week, Claire Avery of Memphis, had a pair of goals and a 2-1 win over USF on Sunday in Tampa. And the Defensive Player of the Week, Ashley Barron from Cincinnati. The freshman started as center back in a pair of shutout wins. The Goalkeeper of the Week is Elizabeth Moberg of Memphis. Had the shutout win in the 2 saves and the 1-0 win at UCF on Thursday before 7 saves in a 2-1 win. Again, that game we mentioned earlier against USF, and her 9 saves allowed Memphis to get off to a 2-0 start. And the Rookie of the Week is Maya Jones of Memphis. Picked up an assist in that South Florida game. Men's soccer, the Offensive Player of the Week, Gabriel Costa of SMU, 6 points in SMU's lone game of the week, scoring twice, assisting on 2 other goals as the Mustangs took care of Tulsa 5-1. And he had the first goal of the game in the 15th minute, assisted a minute later, scored the 46th minute. And again, as number 8 SMU moved to 8-0 on the season with that victory, continuing the best start for men's soccer in AAC history. The Defensive Player of the Week, Javane Brown of South Florida, contributed on both ends of the field for the Bulls, including victories over North Florida and UConn. And the Goalkeeper of the Week is Harrison Devonish Mears, earned his 4th and 5th wins, did he, for USF, totaling 3 saves as the Bulls defeated North Florida and UConn. And Jonas Schmalbach of UCF got his first career goal in the 77th minute against Temple on Saturday. That was the insurance tally in the Knights' 2-0 win. He is the Rookie of the Week. And don't forget, you can follow me on Twitter at JeffAllen_88. And I also invite you to listen to my personal podcast at JeffAllenSportsTalk.com. And here on the Knightline Sports Network, still plenty of stuff to come, as the preview of the UCF Cincinnati game takes place on Knightline Extra. Adam Eaton will take care of that for you. After a Knights victory on Friday night, Knightline the morning after, which will be Knightline the morning after, Sunday morning at 9 on ESPN 580 with Andrew Fagley and crew. And then the Knightline podcast with Andrew and Trace will drop Sunday night to give you more information about UCF Cincinnati, as well the Sons of UCF early next week as well. And then we get on the cycle and start it up all over again. That will do it for this week's AAC Report only on the Knightline Sports Network. I'm Jeff Allen. Thanks for listening. Go Knights. Charge on.